guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is gonna be my favorite sunscreens of the year video, like my top sunscreens, which have been the ones I'm loving the most, which are the ones that I'm gonna use religiously. And don't get me wrong, this year I have tried out so many, like so many sunscreens that I feel like this is my top bunch. These sunscreens you will see me repurchase countless times, and they're just the best. They're just the best sunscreens in my opinion. And I typically do these videos every single year, like an updated version, but it's usually during the summertime because, like, I don't know why, even though this should not be the case, but for some reason sunscreen is associated only with the summer. But we should be using sunscreen, of course, 365 days of the year regardless, no matter what. And that is also a message that I would like to preach here on my channel, is please use your sunscreen every single day. And even though I'm someone who is like, a lot of people say that I use too much sunscreen because of how much quantity I use every single time, I would rather use too much sunscreen than not enough sunscreen. That's just my personal opinion, and you can, you know, choose to have your own opinion. But in today's video, I'm gonna share with you my absolute favorite 5 sunscreens, which these are just the best. These are just the absolute best top tier sunscreens for me personally and for what I'm looking for. Now, before we move on and talk about the sunscreens, I want to tell you what I'm looking for, because then it would make more sense for you to go by my recommendation. I have normal leaning oilier skin, so if you have dry skin, then these preferences may or may not work for you. So please keep that in mind. Apart from that, what I'm using sunscreen as is, of course, the sun protective benefits. At the same time, I'm also looking for something that's going to be a great base under my makeup. I wear makeup pretty much every single day to work, and when it comes to my sunscreen, it's something that I have to apply in the morning, and then right after I have to put on my makeup to get ready for the day. I don't have too much of a waiting time between sunscreen and makeup, which is also why I need to make sure that the sunscreen I'm using should not be pilling when I start putting my makeup on top. When it comes to makeup, I just put a loose powder all over my face. That's also what I'm wearing today. I don't use BB creams, CC creams, foundations, concealers, any of that stuff. I just put a loose powder as a base all over my face and then put my makeup on top of that. So a lot of times there are certain sunscreens that will either start caking, like the loose powder will basically start caking up on top of the sunscreen, and that doesn't work well. Some of the most amazing, like most brilliant sunscreens ever can also tend to do that, is that if you don't let them dry on the skin really well and you don't give them like a longer waiting time before putting on makeup, then they can start caking on your face. So these sunscreens absolutely do not cake on my face. That was a non-negotiable I had, that if any of the sunscreens are caking on my face, I just can't be using them, to be honest. Another thing is that none of these sunscreens pill on my face. But I also want to let you know that pilling is not just dependent on the makeup or the sunscreen, it's also dependent on what moisturizer you're using underneath. Some sunscreens have pilled on me regardless of what moisturizer I use, so that's a different case altogether. But some of these sunscreens I have also tried and tested out with different moisturizers, and I feel like personally I have found a moisturizer that works well with each of these sunscreens and does not cause any pilling. So if you want me to do a separate video talking about what moisturizer pairs well with what sunscreen and how I tend to use them, then let me know. I will do a different video on that altogether. But these were just some introduction points that I wanted to let you know, which is very important before you listen to my recommendations and what sunscreens I have to talk about. I think this is a very crucial part, which is why I wanted to start this video out with that. But now let's finally dive right in and talk about some of these products, because I know that you've been waiting. You're like, can you just shut up and just jump right into the recommendations? I will do that right now. So let's dive right into it. Now, the first sunscreen, and this is one that I was pleasantly surprised with, because when I first tried it out, I had zero expectations. I was just like, chalo ye le lete hain, dekhte hain what it's going to be like. I had absolutely no idea what it was going to be like, but I'm pleasantly surprised to let you know that this is one of my absolute favorite sunscreens. It's in my top 5, which means it's absolutely brilliant. And I'm speaking about the Dermaco 2% Hyalacalamine Hydrating Sunscreen. Now in this video specifically, I don't have demos of a lot of the products, but I have demos of each and every single one of the products on my shorts. So if you go to my channel, search the name, you will see the shorts pop up in which I'm demoing a specific product or a specific sunscreen, to be specific for this video. So you can go and check out the demo clip of that product. But this Dermaco sunscreen, I had absolutely no expectations from it, if I'm going to be completely honest. And when it said hydrating sunscreen, I was a little bit dicey. I'm like, this is probably going to be a fail, but because I'm into trying out new products, I'm like, chalo, let's buy it, let's see how it's going to be. And I was so pleasantly surprised, because when you first start applying it on your face, it's got a more creamy sort of liquidy consistency, not really liquidy, but it definitely looks very white on your face when you first start applying it. But once you blend it into the skin, it settles into a beautiful matte finish. I would say it's a satin matte, like a skin like leaning more matte finish. It's definitely not dewy, it's not like a glass skin kind of a look, and it surprisingly dries very quickly on the skin. One of the best sunscreens from Dermaco ever is the 1% hyaluronic acid sunscreen, but that is a major sunscreen that cakes up on my face if I don't give it enough time to dry. So when this one dried out pretty quickly, and this never cakes under my makeup at all, I was so surprised by how amazing this one is. And I'm actually a little bit gutted, because recently they had the buy one get one sale, and for some reason I forgot to repurchase this. So I'm gonna have to wait probably for a while, or maybe I should check if they still have the buy one get one going on. I will probably repurchase backups of this one, because I'm going to be out of it soon, and this is such a beautiful, really amazing sunscreen. I would highly recommend it to anyone out there who has, I would say, normal skin. This is going to be the best sunscreen, because it's hydrating, but yet it leaves a matte finish on the skin. So I feel like if you have super oily skin, this might not be the best pick, but if you have normal skin, combination skin, again super dry skin also, I'm not really sure if you will like this too much. But if you like a nice hydrating sunscreen that is going to leave, again, like a skin like matte finish on the skin, I would highly recommend it. Also, this one is pretty affordable. I don't think it's too expensive. I cannot see how much this is priced at, but again, you can go and check out on the Dermaco website. It's, I want to say, definitely under 500 rupees, or maybe around that price point. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I don't remember, unfortunately. But yeah, amazing sunscreen. Highly recommend this one. Then another sunscreen which I was really pleasantly surprised by how amazing it is, and this is a very high SPF also. Most of the other sunscreens are around 50 SPF. This is also SPF 50, right? Yeah, it's SPF 50. We have a 55 also, and we have another 55, but then this one is an SPF 70. This is the Foxtale Coverup Mattifying Sunscreen SPF 70 PA 4+. I also think all of these are PA 4+. No, this is 3+, this is 4, and then we have another 3. So this one is meant for normal to oily skin again, but I would say similar to this one, it's got a hydrating kind of a consistency, and it looks super creamy when you first start applying it, but will eventually set into a pretty matte finish. It's not like an instant matte finish, but similar to this one, it's one of those sunscreens that would take a while to like dry down completely on your skin, but you just have to trust the process. You take the right amount, start applying it on your skin, trust the process. It's going to eventually dry down, not leave any kind of a white cast. By the way, I forgot to mention this earlier, none of these sunscreens leave a white cast on your skin at all. Of course, I would not be recommending or purchasing any product that has a white cast, so just to let you know that. But this is one that is very liquidy again, and I really prefer this one, because again, it comes in that airless pump packaging. I wish that this one also came in the airless pump packaging, because with tube sunscreens, my main gripe is that once it's like almost out, you will have to cut the tube, dig in your fingers, and try to give every last bit of product out of it. But with something like this, that's not going to happen, because you will be able to get all the product out pretty much, and there will be absolutely no product wastage, and it's not messy. You don't have to cut up a tube or anything. most of the sunscreens that I'm mentioning in today's video do have a tube packaging, but this is the only one that comes in an airless pump, and I'm very happy and glad that it does, because I do like that aspect as well. And this is something I'm also wearing today underneath my makeup, and I really love it. Again, it's got the same amazing things where it's not going to cake up under your makeup. It's not going to look patchy, it's not going to pill, any of that stuff. So yes, really love the sunscreen, and I would highly recommend it as well. Then we have probably the newest sunscreen in this bunch, and it is one that again I'm pleasantly surprised by. This is the Fixderma Shadow RX SPF 55 plus gel sunscreen. Now they have the SPF 30 and they have the SPF 50. The 30 I believe is still available and you can get it, but the SPF 50 for some reason I'm not able to find anywhere, so I'm not really sure what's wrong with it, or whether they have discontinued that one to come out with this one, because SPF 30 and 50 is like decently different, but SPF 50 and 55 there's like barely any difference. And when I tried this formula, I was hoping that it's going to be just like the SPF 50, and I am very happy to let you know that it is. It's pretty much like the SPF 50 from Fixderma. So in case you love that sunscreen and you're not able to get your hands on it, just like I was not able to get my hands on it, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and try this out, because it's pretty much the same thing. So this is a really nice, again, white sunscreen that looks very creamy, but once you start blending it on the skin, it blends like a gel sunscreen and gets absorbed very quickly into the skin. It also pairs really well with other moisturizers and gives you like a overall very dewy finish and dries quickly on the skin as well. But this is definitely something I feel like oily skin people will really like. If you have a skin that is leaning a little bit more drier, I don't think that you would enjoy this as much. So if you have normal combination oily skin, I think you will like it, but if your skin is leaning more dry, I would not suggest this. I feel like your skin will feel a little bit tight and dry if you're using this specific sunscreen. So do keep that in mind when you decide to purchase it. And it's a really nice product. Again, highly recommend it, and I will definitely continue to repurchase this one as well. That was that. Now there is one sunscreen that unfortunately I cannot show you today physically, because I have emptied that one up completely. I haven't repurchased it yet, unfortunately, and I don't even have like an empty tube to show you. So that is the Conscious Chemist Berry Bright sunscreen. Now this is another one that I was looking at purchasing since a long time, but I did end up purchasing it till I would say a few months ago. And when I got it and when I started using it, it is literally like a purple colored sunscreen. So when you apply it on your face, it doesn't give you any kind of white cast, but it will leave a slight purplish tinge on your skin, which I have noticed can make you look a little bit ashy if you're not wearing any makeup. Again, like I said, these sunscreens are ones that work well for me under makeup. So not every single one of these sunscreens are going to look good without makeup. And let me know if you want me to do a separate video talking about sunscreens that I would wear even without any makeup, and then I will probably give you different recommendations. But in today's video, we're talking about sunscreens that work well under makeup, so please do keep that in mind. So even though the Conscious Chemist Berry Bright sunscreen gives me that purplish tinge on the skin, which can make you look ashy a little bit, like it's not like it literally makes your face look purple, but even after blending it, there is still that slight blueness, purpleness that makes you look ashy, because I'm someone who has warm undertones to my skin, like neutral to warm undertones. So of course if I'm going to put something with blue or purple in it, then it's going to look weird on my skin. That's pretty obvious. So this is not something I would use without makeup, but with makeup I think it pairs really well, because again, the same things that I mentioned earlier, no cast, of course, even though it's a different kind of cast, but it doesn't cake up under my makeup, and it dries very quickly under my makeup as well. Some of the other sunscreens like the Conscious Chemist Sun Drink, the one that I used in the past, the Dermaco, the Aqualogica, those are sunscreens that don't dry up as quickly on your skin, which is again why, even though those are amazing sunscreens, I'm not mentioning them in today's video, because I cannot wear them confidently under my makeup and expect them to not cake or not pill on my skin. So the Conscious Chemist Berry Bright works really well for that, which is why I wanted to mention it. And it's probably, I mean, I haven't done the math for each of these sunscreens. I will be doing that eventually, but I think that the Conscious Chemist is going to be a really affordable option as well, in terms of the value and in terms of the price and the offers, etc. So I think that's also one of the reasons why I really like it, because it's pretty affordable and works really well. So yes, that's my only one that unfortunately I don't have to show you today. But last but not the least, I'm saving like the best and my most favorite sunscreen for the last, because I wanted to start with more newer products that I've been loving. But you guys know this sunscreen is my favorite sunscreen ever. Like, if I had to repurchase and use just one sunscreen for the rest of my life, it would probably be this one. And I wanted to save the best for the last, and that is the Deconstruct Skincare Lightweight Gel Sunscreen SPF 55. Again, this has PA triple plus. Now this one is the OG Deconstruct sunscreen. They have two more new versions that I'm not really interested in trying out, but the OG version is the best, literally the best sunscreen if you have oily skin specifically. I think combination normal skin people will also enjoy it, but if you have oily skin, and I get this comment so many times on my shorts, on my YouTube videos, what is the best sunscreen for oily skin? This is the absolute best sunscreen for oily skin that I have found personally. And it's a beautiful slightly like a silicone primer, but not like your clear gel sunscreens. It's got a peachy pink tinge to it, but once you start blending it onto the skin, it will almost look like there's a Lakme Absolute primer back in the day, or even like the L'Oreal Magique primer. It's got that kind of a color, and once you start blending it on the skin, it literally blends into absolutely nothing. So of course there will be no kind of white cast, but it also settles into this beautiful matte finish on the skin. Like, this is a sunscreen that works really well under makeup, but also on non-makeup days, if I want to just have a like sunscreen on my face and no makeup, this will still look very good, because it would literally make me look perfected. You cannot see pores at all, and it dries instantly on the skin. Like, if I had to put this on, I could start putting makeup right after. I won't even have to wait for like, I would probably still wait 5 minutes maybe, but that's more than enough. So this is literally the best sunscreen for oily skin, for makeup as well as non-makeup. And like, if I had to do the sunscreen awards, and if I had to give one sunscreen like the best sunscreen award, I would give it to this sunscreen. It is that amazing, and I'm really waiting for them to come out with this in like a bigger size, like a jumbo jug of this sunscreen, and I would be the happiest person in the world. So yeah, this is the best sunscreen ever, you guys. Highly recommend it to everyone who has oily skin. But yeah, that was it. Those were my favorite sunscreens of 2023. I absolutely love all of these products right here, and you will continue to see me repurchase them. Even though this is my absolute favorite sunscreen ever, but I'm also that person who likes to switch up my products every once in a while and not use just one product. So I feel like by rotating all of these on a consistent regular basis, I won't get bored of just using one sunscreen all the time. So I think it's going to keep me on my toes, and I'm going to really enjoy rotating them. So yeah, these are my favorite sunscreens which I wanted to share with you in today's video, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know if you've tried out any of these sunscreens. Let me know that as well. Let me know your reviews and whether you like it or you don't like it. Let me know all of that down below in the comment section. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.